And India is a prime target because our growing economy is an ISO for many other countries in the world. We are also living in one of the most difficult neighborhoods of the world. And knowing all that, the security apparatus of India has to be upgraded. And there's a limit to which only the state can provide security by using their own personnel to do the job. Knowing the complexity, knowing the kind of huge geography we have to protect, the kind of demography, kind of borders we have, some of it is porous, it is virtually impossible that we can work. Only state alone can do the job. And in many other countries in the world, they have realized that when people retired from service, they retired leaving their specific job responsibility behind, but carrying with them the huge experience and the knowledge that they acquired while they were in the job. And unfortunately, you retire, but you carry that knowledge. You have that rich experience which a young officer will not have. So how do you make sure that we can use this knowledge and expertise and offer it to the state without state being burdened with having this person on their roll? So just imagine, you have a free reserve available to you. I am by training a chartered accountant. So in my the accounting parlance, I can say that normally you have assets and liabilities in the balance sheet. So to create asset, you have to create a liability. So if you want to hire some people, you have to pay them. So you have to create a liability to pay them. But then there is one other item in the balance sheet, which is called reserves. So reserves are created over a long period of time when the company is making profit. And Mr. Sinha's company must have made a lot of reserves because he's doing a very good business. And those reserves are available to be used at a time when you need them. So we have a reserves in terms of technological knowledge, expertise. And I'm very happy to see that you are able to harness those reserves under the umbrella of this organization. And therefore, it should be our endeavor to find out how can we relate to these reserves in a manner that will help the state to enhance their capabilities without having to be hiring these people on the payroll. And this is a great opportunity. And therefore, I really thank you for bringing all of them together. This is like bringing the expertise of various fields, and now it's a unified command that we can actually make use of it. So first of all, thank you and congratulate you for doing the job for the country. And now it's a responsibility of the state how to use it. So as you mentioned, with all the limitations, we'll find out a way of working in an organic manner with this organization over a long period of time. I really look forward to doing that. In fact, I was just asking, therefore I didn't hear my friend's call that I had to come and speak to both my neighbors, that do you do audits or no? So they said, of course we do audits. So I'm just thinking aloud. And of course, as you know, Mr. Sharma, Mr. Singh, and all of them have worked in the government, so they know the limitation of the government, and particularly ministers announce and bureaucracy sees how it can happen or not happen. So I'm saying, but I will be very happy to work with you and we'll make it happen. If some audits we can conduct in my 2 or 3 responsibilities I have in the government. One is, I'm a Minister for Aviation. So let us find out the way of we can work with the Aviation Ministry for our infrastructure in India, like in airports, like our other infrastructure. Let us see how we can work together to find out. We'll have a proper structured meeting to find out ways of doing that. I will ask Secretary Civil Aviation, Mr. Chaube, you please talk to him tomorrow, and we'll let us find out how we can work together. Secondly, I was just thinking, our ministry is also trying to create new infrastructure. The biggest, definitely in India, but probably one of the biggest in the world, convention center is coming up in Dwarka. this is going to have an outlay of almost $4 billion, 28,000 crores. And that again would be subject to some sort of scrutiny. But we can find out right now to work with you. And the other part of that you are working on is fire and everything else. To find out how can we have a proper structure. I'm sure there will be consultants who will be doing the job, but we need third party audits to find out whether that is being done at the right time. And at a time where it is getting constructed. See, there can be audit, and again I'm using my chartered accountant knowledge, can be like concurrent audit. Or there can be something like internal audit. But it's also important to have an external audit to find out how can you work together and find out ways of doing that. Another one that is coming up, and in fact now the chairman is the former Home Secretary, Mr. Goel. We are constructing another fantastic convention center, hotels, everything else on the ITPO complex. So there again, I am sure you like to work with you and to find out how that can be taken care of. One of the other themes that we are trying to work here is fire prevention, right? You know, unfortunately, and Mr. Medekar, his father was a Director General Police of Maharashtra. That is my home state. Of course, I know his family, all his cousins and all his uncles. Some of them have now unfortunately not there. But the state of Maharashtra, I was just reading yesterday, casually, because I don't want to say it publicly, but I don't read newspaper. I just only use my mobile phone and see what is there. Maharashtra had some few thousand fires last year. Few thousand. A state, only one state, has so many. Maybe some small, maybe big, but still fire. Now just imagine, on one hand, we are trying to create infrastructure. On the other hand, the created infrastructure gets lost because of fire. So what is the use of creating new infrastructure when you are losing already created infrastructure? It's a huge national loss. Someone can say, well, yeah, but this is insured. But insurance is also national loss. So why not prevent it and try to make it in a proper manner? And this is something which is definitely doable with proper systems in place, proper precautions to be taken. And as I said, while the infrastructure is getting created, put those precautions inbuilt into it and eventually to find out whether what the systems have been prescribed, whether they are followed or not. So I think that again is a very important initiative of your organization. This conclave is focusing on that. And I think that is something which now India must focus on. While we create new infrastructure, we are becoming $5 trillion economy in a matter of next 7 years. Incidentally, it is not just I am saying it. I asked my ministry, Department of Industry, Policy and Promotion, and we have prepared a concrete plan as to where this $5 trillion is going to come from. $1 trillion will come from manufacturing, and again, on next, I think on the 19th or something, on the Monday, when the Parliament is in session, at the same time, if you are interested, please come. I had asked the CIA to give us a complete, and we have been working for the last 9-8 months, how that $1 trillion of manufacturing, which segment of industry will contribute to that $1 trillion? How much will come from cement, steel, other industries and everything else? So, we have prepared that plan. On the other hand, services, which is in fact part of your industry, service industry. We are going to get $3 trillion, 60% of our $5 trillion will come from services. In that, we have also prepared a complete chart as to which service will contribute to it. So we have identified 12 champion sectors of economy for which we have set aside 5,000 crores already approved by the cabinet to promote those services. And of course agriculture. But each of these, and particularly the first segment, but including services, because services has also needs infrastructure. Hospitality, hotel is service, but they are also prone to fires. Industry is prone to fire. So all of this, we must find out ways of fire as one of the big concern and one of the big challenge that we are facing. So I think we really need to work on each one of them. So I'm very happy to see that you are working in this particular segment, and we like to provide you full support. Incidentally, I was just thinking aloud, and therefore we need to work a little bit. All these activities that you are doing, security related issues, issue to fire related, all of this is also, if you look at it only from economic perspective, it's a service which is going to be growing eventually. This is also a segment of services. In fact, the other day, somebody was asking me about jobs. So I said, maybe over a period of time something interesting has happened in the economy. When I was young, I belonged to my Lok Sabha constituency. Most of the people will migrate to Mumbai and they will be absorbed in police. So I said, now police are not taking that many on their roll. So people can say the police job has gone down. But same time, there has been a huge increase in private security personnel. So job creation has happened. Not in that same segment of services, but in different form. So government is not hiring, but service sector is providing those opportunities. So service sector, incidentally, is the fastest growing sector creating employment in India. So whatever you are doing, just imagine a service provided to prevent fire. It's job creation. It's actually adding to economic activity, also saving our assets from a possible damage. So I think all of these activities are extremely important, extremely critical, and that will go a long way in also promoting economic activities in India. So service sector is the responsibility also in my ministry in commerce. So we like to find out how can we promote this activity as a standalone basis, as a service sector activity, and what can be done to do that. I will tell you the name of the person. His name is Himanshu Pandey. I would please, he is Additional Secretary Himanshu Pandey. You meet him and you discuss this with him. I will tell him today as to how can we make this segment of services sector also to grow, which provides economic gains, but also a useful activity in terms of promoting it. So we like to do that in each of the segment of this. So this is a very important promotion also that can be done. But looking at it, we need integrated solutions which is related to security and safety. Fire is a safety issue, security is an integrated issue. Unless we bring integration into this, and now integration is possible with such, particularly with your organization, with a type of huge brain trust that you have, but also using technology. Technology will help us to integrate it and bring better solutions. The kind of huge knowledge base that you have will help us to make technology work better. And therefore, this is a good time to work on these issues. I am very happy that Mr. Sinha is working on many issues at the same time. So he is also a man of integration. So he brings so many integrations into many things. He also is working on integrating India also in many ways. So I am very happy to see that this organization has been able to bring in so many different stakeholders together. In this particular program, I can see some of our friends who have come from different parts of the world to participate. I welcome them, and I assure you that India is literally on the track of becoming one of the large economies of the world very soon. A $5 trillion, definitely by 2000, maybe 25, 26, and $10 trillion for sure before 2035. Incidentally, as I told you, we are working on each of these components. For manufacturing, already as I told you. For services, we are working. For agriculture, we are working. Incidentally, very soon we'll be launching agriculture export policy, which will, for the first time in India, will be able to export agriculture products to give back to the farmers who always suffer when there is a bumper crop because the prices fall. So these are double whammy for them. They have created more, so more input cost has gone in, and the prices fall, so they don't get the return that normally they would have got. And therefore, export is the only solution wherein that surplus crop can be exported to different markets. So we are created integrated strategy. I am just saying this, that India is on the track of becoming a $10 trillion economy. And to do that, we need many things to be put in place. $10 trillion economy means also vulnerability, which I talked about initially, because people will like to target it, countries will like to target it, forces will like to target it, realizing that India is growing. So how do we do it? One is the economic gain that will accumulate by way of doing these strategies in place. But most important part is to protect it. We need organization like this to make sure that internal or external sources will not try to subvert this great creation, that combined people's effort are going to make it happen. Again, whenever we create asset, we should not lose it by way of just having a fire. So I think all of this is what you are doing, is preventive as well as a constructive part of building this country into a great economy, a great nation that we are capable of and that we will be in the next few years' time.
हम हैं हिंदुस्तान समाचार। हमसे जुड़े रहने के लिए हमारे YouTube चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करें, साथ ही बेल आइकन को दबाना ना भूलें।